My name is Greg Wilmot. I'm a counseling psychologist, and this is my 13th video that I'm doing in the series called Mental Health and Isolation. Previously, I've spoken about boredom and some ideas about how to deal with boredom through engaging in certain activities at home. These might be gardening, arts, crafts, puzzles, learning new skills, and a whole bunch of things around your house. Today, I wanted to talk a little bit about some of the challenges of working remotely from home. Some people I've spoken to and a number of people that I know find some of the challenges of working at home remotely are starting to kind of intrude into their mental health and their happiness and certainly their relationships as well. We're in a space now where working remotely, we have to manage to kind of live, relax, and work simultaneously within kind of a confined space. And I want to kind of lean on some of my experience of working with Rhodes University students to be able to bring some practical ideas of some things that you can do to be able to just help separate out a living space from a relaxation space, from a working space. So one of the chief pieces of advice that we give to students is about their bed. I say to students, and they laugh quite a lot at this, that your bed is for two things, and that's for sleep and that's for sex. And I get a good laugh out of that, but there's a very good understanding because a lot of students do want to kind of just relax and be able to kind of do an assignment, study, work for an exam or something else from their comfortable bed space. They feel like they're able to relax, they can sit comfortably. But unfortunately, then when it comes to bedtime, your brain has a very kind of mixed association. Your brain is stimulated, it's awake, and it's challenged when you're sitting in a particular space like a bed. But now at night time, when you're kind of under pressure to maybe kind of want to fall asleep, it's very difficult to do because your brain has this kind of association of now it's work time. So I would encourage you to not work from bed. Try and find actually kind of a dedicated workspace, a space where you can go to work, and a space where you can also leave work behind. If you kind of have a dedicated room, a desk, or a corner within your living space where you can go to work and you can go and work in that space, then separated from your kind of your living and your relaxation space. Don't perhaps even work from the couch where you might kind of watch series or you might kind of spend time with a partner or family, because again, there's a negative association with that. And the reason I'm also talking about kind of going to work is that if you're able to kind of schedule some working hours, even kind of some amended hours, I think that we might find ourselves in the space of a 4-day work week soon, that you're able to then again separate out a working space from a living space a little bit better. And again, that allows you to be able to shift your mental space and your focus so that when you do need to engage in a challenging task around work or even a mundane task, answering emails, doing a video call, you're then in a kind of a workspace headspace, as it were, as well as a physical space. And then by the time the end of the day comes, or you're going for a break, for lunch or coffee or something, it's a space where you're able to get away from and then go to a space where you can relax and you can enjoy yourself, you can recharge, you can recuperate, you can engage in kind of with other people, you can think stuff, you can get your head out of work, and then you're able to go back to work, to a space where you can then kind of switch your attention and your focus back on. I've spoken there very briefly about kind of starting and ending times, and even though kind of students are adults and we encourage them to have a lot of autonomy, we are also kind of encouraging them to be able to kind of have a time when you start working and a time when you end working. Too often people who have a lot of autonomy at this young age lose some of the ideas and some of the positive ideas around having a schedule and being quite structured in one's day and one's routine. And I would certainly encourage people working from home remotely to be able to set up a bit of a schedule and a routine. Maybe you've negotiated with your employer, your boss, about when you have to be available and how you have to be available. My experience of working part-time at Rhodes is seeing some correspondence around that previously from the HR division, that people do need to be available, but that is also kind of on a flexible basis. And we can't kind of sit at one space for kind of 8 hours a day, but being clear about kind of when you are available and when you're not available is a very useful thing, just to again separate you and work and your living space at the same time. Something that's also really useful to do is to be able to have a to-do list. Something I do in my own practice and encourage students to do a lot is to identify very clearly what are the tasks that I have to do and how do I have to do those. And I encourage students to write a to-do list the night before when they have to kind of wake up so that they can hit the ground running the next day. They don't have to kind of then keep their working memory going the whole night to be able to kind of stay away and awake and aware of the things that they need to do the next day. If you wake up and you've got a to-do list, you know what's on that list, you can then kind of tick off those things that kind of start with the hardest tasks, going through to down to some of the easiest tasks. There is some debate. Do I start with easy things? Do I start with hard things? Generally, I encourage people to start with the hard things. What's going to take the most of your attention and your effort, because that energy and that effort is going to kind of deplete over time. So by being able to kind of then know what you need to do, you can get it done, you can tick it off, and then you're also able to kind of go back and have a look at that to-do list, and you get a sense of kind of satisfaction that you've done stuff and that you are making some progress kind of going forward. So there's a whole lot more that I could talk about working remotely. As I talk to clients and talk to various other people, I'll kind of feed back to this kind of channel a little bit more about some ideas of things that you can do and how you can kind of manage your own wellness while you've got to kind of live and work and relax within the same space. If you've got any questions or there's things that you'd like to know, please do contact me. There's lots of information on my Facebook page and my website, and I look forward to hearing from you soon. Right then, cheers, bye.